losing lives every single day.
I think the city needs change. I think the city needs competent new leadership.
Even though we're on the south side, we still deserve our fair share of the resources.
Attention BART riders.
Hey, San Francisco, I'm Ben Kaplan, and this is the podcast where we define who we are and who we want to be. We are San Francisco. Hey everyone, in this episode, I sit down with three inspiring candidates for District 11 Supervisor, Adlah Chisti, E.J. Jones, and Michael Lai. We dive into the key issues facing the district, from parking and public safety to housing and community resources like City College. Each candidate brings a unique blend of experience and vision for the future, offering their take on how to create a stronger, more connected District 11. Let's dive in. Why are you running in this election?
One of the main reasons why I'm running, it's really important that we have a supervisor that is transparent, that's going to be accountable, and that's going to stay a supervisor.
I think the city needs change. I think the city needs competent new leadership.
Residents and community members still feel like District 11 isn't on the map, that we're the last district that's thought about by City Hall.
Even though we're on the south side, we still deserve our fair share of the resources.
The Head Start Center that I was volunteering at in the Tenderloin last year shut down because the parents in the Tenderloin no longer wanted to send their kids there with the needles and the street conditions. And it was a free center. And that was a big wake-up call to me that's the government in San Francisco. So I started looking into it and realizing, okay, if we have the same types of people who run over and over again for the Board of Supervisors, we're going to get the same results.
What do you think makes you stand out? What's the differentiator for you as a candidate?
Honestly, the fact that I've been doing the work, right? I have a track record of doing work within this district and within San Francisco.
Well, I think the first biggest thing I have going on is experience. I have about 6 years in politics. I actually started off my career working on Kamala Harris's campaign, her Senate campaign in 2016. And then from there, I worked on many supervisor campaigns in San Francisco.
I'm excited to bring something different to the table. That's what the district needs. It needs creative problem solving to fight for it, the working families, and it needs out-of-the-box thinking.
We can actually go through the district and look at things that I've worked on, right? Like the Merced Heights Playground. That's something that I worked on while in Supervisor Safai's office. We can go and point to the OMI COVID hub that I ran during the pandemic.
And I think I have a long background in education. I was a teacher at James Lick Middle School, and I was around education and education policy for the last 10 years. And I think, experience is really what sets me apart from the other candidates.
Being able to bring connections have been endorsed by Andrew Yang, for example, ran for president in 2020. He flew in from New York City. We did an event together to put this district on the map and get the resources that it deserves. At the same time that we're tackling some of these huge citywide issues like fentanyl addiction, like homelessness, like police staffing that are also affecting District 11.
And let's say it's the day after the election. It's in November. And you've won. You're elected. You're given a magic wand to do one thing. You don't need any other votes. You don't need any other support. You don't need mayoral approval. You can't do everything. You can't just do all the problems are magically gone, but you can focus on one thing. What would you use your magic wand on?
There's so many school-age children and families are very worried about closures, and the school closures are disproportionately affecting District 11. Guaranteeing high quality, consistent school communities for District 11 families. That would be one potential thing.
The fentanyl crisis immediately, right? I think that has taken a dramatic effect on San Francisco.
Another thing that comes to mind is around, honestly, cleanliness. We got Mission and Geneva. We have, it's dirty. We have a lot of illegal dumping in the Excelsior and Crocker Amazon and parts of OMI. And there's kind of a package of things around cleanliness that I'm really interesting. I think cleanliness is the systems problem where, you have folks who are dumping and there's no fines for dumping. There's no accountability for that. You have not enough trash cans.
It's to solve parking, to solve parking and make it easier for everybody here, because being in a multi-generational home is difficult. Many of us do have to drive. And that's something that, it's easier to say, hey, let's get all of San Francisco to be car free. And I agree with that 100%. But often with the lower middle class and lower income families, it's much more difficult.
Parking is the hardest one to solve right now in our district. We can put more people, we can staff up DPW to help clean our streets. We can have more community cleanups. We can create awareness, but parking is an issue that's harder to solve. So if there was a second thing that I could wave my magic wand at, that would be it.
But if I may have another magic wand moment in this, is the other piece would be to have satellite offices in our district. And I think that would go really far. For instance, having a satellite office of SFMTA in District 11, having a satellite office of Department of Public Works in District 11. This would make the connection between City Hall and the community much more closer. And I think that's something I would love to work on as a priority issue as well.
Do you think that San Francisco and California government is corrupt?
There is corruption within our government. I wouldn't say that our full government is corrupt.
Yes, there is corruption, but corruption exists in bureaucracy.
It can be more efficient and it can be more effective.
It's a circus on top of an iceberg. And the circus is all of the political theater. It's, the school board renaming 44 schools instead of focusing on reopening schools for our most marginalized children. It's all these political battles. And you have this iceberg, which is the bureaucracy. You have, a $15.9 billion budget, you have 15,000 employees, you have 130 commissions, all these things.
One of the things is that we need to also have smarter policies, as well as ballot measures.
I think that the way that we fix that is to have transparency through an auditing process, an independent auditing process. We have a lot of nonprofits that receive contracts, and making sure that there is a consistent auditing process that's attached to those contracts, along with making sure that we're grading the work that's being done.
SF Safe, or Safe SF, was one of the nonprofits that came down for corruption. And I think that's an issue as well. And it's really important, if we had these metrics, if we had legislation similar to Supervisor Stephanie, I think it would be more preventative, and it would be really helpful for the city in the end.
When you have all this complexity and all these rules and these layers, and then you need special ways to navigate around them, right? And I think that's where the corruption comes in. So I think there's a lot of stuff to streamline and make these institutions just work better. And that, I think, is actually going to lead to less corruption.
City College of San Francisco, there's a lot of students who come from District 11. What should we be doing to either support it, but also use it to address some of the problems that you just highlighted?
City College is one of the anchors for District 11, and almost 14% of people in the 94112 area code attend City College under the Free City program.
There's so many opportunities at City College for people to learn trades, to begin their career pathways. And I think we really have to lean in on bridging the gap between some of our trades, between some of our fields of employment and that institution.
It's sort of fortifying some of the staffing programs. I know we have City Build for apprenticeship programs for the skilled and trained, for the trades. And we have a lot of housing that we need to build in the city for affordability reasons, right? We have police staffing type stuff that's been mandated by the state, and obviously police staffing is a huge issue.
Having more educational pathways for students is also important. If we have a retention and recruitment issue with our police department, then let's have educational pathways for people who are attending and trying to get their associate degrees in criminal justice to also find pathways to enter public safety, right? And I think that's really important.
I've been thinking a lot about, again, my whole life. Education transformed my life, and my whole career thus far has been about expanding opportunity. Is what do the young people of District 11? I've talked to so many who are maybe they're in an $18 to $21 job, right? And it's like, what is that next level that's going to allow them to have a life that they're proud of and be able to raise a family. And, maybe that's like sort of certain programs or to get them into entry-level tech sales or entry-level customer service type jobs, and really partnering with City College as an institution to solve our city staffing shortages around policing and other things, things in the tech sector, so we can build some bridges and not just have this fight between old San Francisco and new San Francisco.
And the great thing about, I think, City College is that it was founded in 1935 after the Great Depression to actually be a pipeline for all of the issues of a growing city. So all of the things you've highlighted, whether that's, public safety and staffing police. Well, one of the first degrees at City College was criminology. It was supposed to be a pipeline of workers. And not only is it just workers so we could fill the shortage, but imagine if we have homegrown people who care about the community, who grew up in District 11, who love it, who then would be police in that district. It would be a better outcome for the city, the community, them for the job, if we could connect that together.
Oh, 100%. And, I was talking to a guy the other day at Blue Cafe on Randolph Street. And I remember I was asking, what do you see as problems? And he was like, well, I'm really upset that the 911 response times are so slow. Like, my elderly parents don't feel safe. And he's like, I've been here my whole life. And I said, well, I hear that. I don't know if you knew, but Taraval Station, which oversees here, is short almost half officers. And this young man actually was like, I did not know that. Like, maybe I'll apply for the police academy.
I think the focus, we do have to shift the focus in our how we are appealing to the students at City College. And I think that's really important. Let's make this process much more easier on the students to get to where they need to get. I think that's really important. So
I'm running for the Board of Trustees because City College holds the key to solving San Francisco's toughest challenges.
If you care about safe streets and a fully staffed police department, care about City College.
Will you join me?
Final question for you is why they should vote for you, why they should vote for Michael Lai. If you have 15 seconds and you just want to sum it up for someone who's just paying attention for the first time, what would that be?
If we vote for the same types of people, we're going to get the same results.
We want a supervisor that's going to be fearless, and we want a supervisor that's going to be resilient. And that's going to be me, because not only do I have the experience, but I have the policy background in how to address a lot of these issues.
I'm just really ready on day one to be able to get this job done and really take care of our district from a point of view of someone who truly understands it and is willing to make sure that District 11 is represented in City Hall.
Coming up with creative solutions for working families in District 11 and San Francisco, for childcare, for workforce housing, starting a new university, as a community organizer. And I'm really excited to bring that to deliver change for the district.
All right. Best wishes for the campaign, and thank you for joining us on We Are San Francisco.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.